Hey. We inside once more. Red in the house. I'm take out my little extra eyes there for now. Talk to you a little bit. Hey, good evening everybody. Welcome once again. Red, we live. Don't know how many people we will have logged. Hey, I see some concurrent viewers already. That's alright, man. That's nice. We have some people locked on the inside. Maybe the subject matter, people get a little whiff fight quick that they decide to jump on. I don't know. But this evening we want to talk about a nice little subject that has been making waves for the last couple of weeks. But before I get to that, first again, I want to say thanks to all you viewers, all the supporters who have been supporting, liking the page, subscribing as the case may be. I see new people coming on every week, which is nice. I see new comments coming even from old videos, which is even nicer. So it means the content getting around, but help me spread it around. If you believe in what we're doing, if you're seeing value in what we're doing, if you've been getting value from what we've been doing, please subscribe, like, share the page, share the channel rather. Because we're on YouTube. Fortunately, Facebook has a facility where I can pipe YouTube through Facebook. I can't pipe Facebook through YouTube, but that's our next long story by itself. But again, thanks for all of you who have been locking on and adding your comments and adding your value in one way or the other. If you see me just looking off to the side, that's because I have another screen here, two screens, monitoring the thing, checking, making sure who locked on and whatever comments people post and stuff like that. Last week, well, before I get to last week, again, for those of you who have been following my story, would know that yesterday, the 15th of June, I spoke about it last week, but the 15th of June was the four-year anniversary of my daughter's passing. Yeah, boy, 4 years, boy, 4 years. So I mentioned, we have a Facebook page in memory of her and stuff, and it's interesting to see. It's interesting and also encouraging to see the comments people post, and some of her cousins and uncles or aunts, as the case may be, and other family members and stuff. How they've been impacted by the whole thing, even up to today. One of my nieces had said that up to now she can't even look at videos or photos of her, without breaking down. But as I told some people, I think I posted it on Facebook. For me personally, obviously this gap will always be there. There'll always be this big hole. But it does become easy. It is becoming easier to manage. I won't ever. This is what I say. I say I won't ever get over. You don't ever get over these things. Let me don't fool yourself. Some people might try to put on a show, but you don't ever get over these things if the person is really close to you. But it does become, at least in my case, I can say that it is becoming easier to manage every year as the years go by. But I'll never overcome this. Alright, so in celebration of Jamie 40th anniversary in passing, and we recognize that and the impact she's made in lives over the years. But let me just switch it back to today's topic. So last week I mentioned that I'm going to dive into the Black Lives Matter thing. And one of my friends, and by the way, let me say a big thank you to Enwa Menkora. I hope I pronounced it correct, sorry. From all the way down in Marabella. Equaor Entertainment, providing the I hope you're hearing it, nice little music bed, little kalimba music bed in the background. We used it last week, using it again this week, and we'll be using it for a little while inside the mix. So I have my theme song. So we have the theme song for opening and closing, and I have this nice little bed that Enwa did, because Enwa I'm getting an error message here. Right, I hope it doesn't impact what we're doing. Anyhow, I get a message, error message with regards to the stream. So I hope the stream does go through. I hope you're seeing the stream. In any case, it will be on the channel after. So hope you stay on. And, add your feedback as the case may be. So who don't catch it live, they'll catch the feedback later on. So thanks to Enwa for providing this nice music bed. And this will be kind of like the inside music, so to speak, for a little while, and then of course we make some changes and some variations as we go along. So black lives matter. And when I said it, and what say Eric, he messaged me one time, he said, Eric, be careful that you do your research and get your information correct. So NYS, thanks. I did do some research. I have been doing some digging and having some conversations and stuff. And let me say it again, thank you also to my, of course, people who know me know I'm a former police officer. So let me say thank you to my batch of 1991. Some wonderful men and women. We had 4 women in that batch. 3 of them still alive today. 1 passed away some years ago. So we want to say salute to the women, batch of 91. We love you guys a lot. You know all in our hearts. You know that. But we have some interesting guys too in that group, and every day, some nice, sensible, and motivating topics does come up. Some of them very heated, and some people, you'll always get varying responses. But we always have some very heart-to-heart, open, frank, mature conversation. Thank God we never had no cuss out and all that kind of thing inside. Oh Lord, pressure. But so I want to say thanks to those guys, and I just mentioned a few: Anson, Duncan, Clarkey, the Freitas, Noel, Keshwa, Agbe, who we have? More. We have who we have, boy? Dodan. We have Morgan. We have who that boy? Who I trying to remember what's his name? Maraj. We have who we have again? Just trying to remember some of those names off the top of my head. But boy, Khan, Etienne, Vialva, and just some of the guys in who have been contributing to these discussions that we have in our chat. But one of the discussions we had over the last few weeks is the obvious one: Black Lives Matter. And those of you following news and stuff, they had a big thing right down in Port of Spain. People going in front of the US Embassy and protesting and all that drama, and what happened with police, and man take off police hat and all kind of real thing. Commissioner went there and real thing. But watch this one. In the midst of all that discussion, this came up. I saw this. Black Lives Matter, but only when they're killed by cops. And of course, we know it's white cops they're talking about. Killed by each other? Question mark. Not so much. Black Lives Matter, big and bold. So we established that Black Lives Matter. That goes hands down. That's without question. If you understand the concept of the banner, that goes without question. Black Lives Matter. But that bottom section there seems to be injecting, at least this is how I see it, right? Of course, everybody will interpret this in their own way, as what has happened, right? And it's interesting to hear the kind of comments that come out. But I want you to see this. So it is established, Black Lives Matter. Boom, we established that. But then the sarcasm come in, but only when they're killed by cops. And as I said, we know this is referring to white cops. But when they're killed by each other, apparently it don't matter so much. Now, here's the thing about this. Of course, I know we've heard this not really a rebuttal, but a response. So when the whole Black Lives Matter thing came out, some people started saying all lives matter. Yes, we know all lives matter. And I like this other response that I saw somebody said. They said we never said only Black life matters. That's a different story. So I could see the all life matters argument coming if it was said only Black Lives Matter. But that is not the case. They never said only Black Lives Matter. They said Black Lives Matter, and then you have to now understand the context in which that statement is made. And anybody who's been following the whole thing will understand that it all has to do with racial profiling. I mean, let me talk straight, right? It all has to do with racial profiling and the way blacks have been treated in relation to whites and white privilege and all that kind of stuff. Let me be real. That is what it is about. Good, and it has to do with the amount and the type of killings that took place from white cops killing black people. That's what it is about. We know that, right? So we're not debating that. That is undebatable. That is what it is about. Here's why I like this banner, and I wanted to look at it again. And here's what I'm about to say. You may disagree, and that is okay. We could agree to disagree. It doesn't mean that I don't understand what is happening. I just understand a certain viewpoint, because what I've realized, I should go down that road. All right, let's see how this goes. Black lives matter, but only when they're killed by white cops. I will stick in white because that's what it really means. White cops killed by each other, not so much. Here's what I understand by that. They're not saying that if a black kill a black, the life don't matter. That's not what they're saying, It's sarcasm. At least that's what I'm seeing inside it. There's some sarcasm inside it. What they're trying to say is the same veracity which you'll come out with, the same kind of fervor, the same kind of drive, where you want to protest, and you want to pick up placard and all this thing to try to get some measure of justice, where a black person was killed by a white person, or maybe they were killed by a Chinese, or maybe they were killed by an Asian, or some other race other than black. What this is saying, if black lives really matter, then it has to matter across the board. And that's what I see, and that's what I agree with. If we're saying it matters, and we're not saying that it does not matter, but what is it saying? If you're arguing that it matters, then it has to matter across the board. It can't be only when a white man or a white cop kill a black man, we will protest. Obviously, you're protesting injustice. We understand that. But when a black man kill a next black man, does that second black man life matter? Again, don't feel I don't understand the argument, but I want to let's see a bigger picture. When a white man kill a black man, it is obvious. It more than likely is because of a race thing. We understand that. At least that has been the history so far. When a black man kill a black man, it may not, obviously, it think will be because of race. But you don't think somewhere inside there's some measure of this black man looking at that black man and saying he not important. His life really don't matter. Think about it. So I go take you out. Because what I need to do more important than him being alive. So really, as a black man to a next black man, your life really don't matter. Think about that a little bit. I know. I'm expecting to get some heat with this. I'm looking for the messages, and I'm only watching it. I'm looking for the messages. I'm expecting to get some heat. But think about that a minute. Suppose it was a Chinese person who killed the black man. Would we have come out in the same way? Black lives matter. Does the black life not matter then too? Suppose it was an Arabian or somebody from the Middle East that killed the black man. Will that black man's life not matter at that point too? So then why are we not protesting when that happened? And the thing about it is, we know for a fact that black people, right now it's happening, as a result of this COVID thing, black people get kicked out, that they get a business place shut down in Japan. Japan or China? One of them. You know what? Sorry, let me get the thing right. Next thing I'm blaming people for that. In China. And they started to close down black people business because they started to blame them for the spread of the COVID-19 disease in China. So a lot of people, they got put out of business. People was thrown out in the streets, all kind of thing. So they don't matter at that point. Why we not protesting that? That not important too? That, I mean, is black people being treated a certain way by people of another race? How come them, in that case, we're not seeing their Black Lives Mattering? Again, and I keep saying this because I know people go think. I am not saying the lives don't matter, and I'm not even suggesting that there isn't merit for the protests, and the protest isn't founded. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if we saying Black Lives Matter, Black lives had to matter across the board. We mustn't only see Black lives being important when somebody of another race, more so the white race for obvious reason, is coming against the black man in whatever form or fashion. We can't only see Black Lives Mattering at that point. We had to see Black Lives Mattering across the board. And when a black man kill a black man, the whole neighborhood, the whole village must come out the same way and want justice for the man who died. Whether that means, however it is done, the same way you want the white man who killed the black man to face justice, you should want the black man who killed our next black man to face the same level of justice, not less. It can't be less because he's black. Then what you're actually saying is that within our private community, let we do our own thing. Don't get involved. So if we kill out one another, that is we business. That has nothing to do with you. Then it's really not a case of Black Lives Mattering. Somebody calling me on my phone. Who is that? Alright, I can't talk to you now. Partner of mine from Antigua calling me. No, but you understand what I'm saying? Think about it. I remember, as I said, I'm a former police officer. I remember going on a call once. They sent me to investigate a disturbance in two neighbors, and there's threats of who threatened to kill who and thing. You know, it was one of the first things I heard when I reached. One of the guys, it's two neighbors, two adjoining apartments, right? Like one building, just a wall separated. So apartment one, apartment two, and some stupid little thing come between them, and they want to fight. Who want to kill one another, all kind of thing. You know what's one of the first things I heard when I jump out the vehicle? You call police, boy? Is you call police? We call police for, boy? Well, we think by this we think. Police had to come in there. That's we think. Police had to come in there. That's serious. So, leave them alone. Let them kill each other. Children in the mix. If a child die in the process, no problem. If somebody else die in the process, no problem. That is we private little black people thing. So let we deal with that. But nobody else should come in that. If somebody else come in to intervene, then they treating us bad. If we treating each other bad, there is no problem. Think about how stupid that song is. If we ill treating each other, no problem. But somebody else who is not a part of our community in treating one of us, ooh, that's a big issue. That makes no sense to me. To me. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It just don't make sense to me. Because bad treatment is bad treatment regardless of who it comes from. Now, for me, towards one of my own kind, it can be called racism. But it could still be a level of hatred. Which is what racism is at the end of the day. You dislike somebody of another race because of their color. And you treat them a certain way. But another person of your own race, of your own ethnicity, let's call it that, could treat you the exact same way. It's not as a result of hatred. Racism. But it's the same level of hatred. Hate is hate regardless of where it come from. So if I see somebody, give me a look, let me point my two eyes here and see what happened there. Totally. Okay, thanks you. Hey, my partner at Crossroads Production, Ashton, thank you, man. No, but you understand what I'm saying, people? If it had a matter, it must matter across the board. You can't only get vexed. Let me come to Trinidad. And I'm going to give you a real life scenario that I was very close to when I was going to school. It can be a case that because your Indian neighbor treat you a certain way, he hate you. But then your Negro neighbor on the next side gives you the same exact treatment. But because he's a Negro like you, it ain't no big thing. But you're up in arms because how the Indian treat you. That makes sense? When I was going to school, I went to school Sangre Grande Junior Sec. And I remember this one boy, this hurt me to my heart. We waiting for the bus station in Sangre Grande. School bus. So here's this little decent looking Indian guy walking, minding in his own business. And two Negro guys decide to jump him and hit him some hard cuff and some hard kick. Here was the statement that came out their mouth before doing anything. They say, hey, you, India don't like Negro. And they started beat the man. All you understand what just went on there? That person, they don't even know the guy. That's our next issue by itself. He just happened to be of a particular race. They may have had issues with people of his race treating them a particular way. So in their mind, all Indian, this. And we know if it's Trinidad we're talking. I like to talk straight, right? We know the reverse has happened. People will say, some Indian people will say, all Negro people, this. Or they will say, all Chinese people, this. Or all Syrian, this. We do it all the time. One police officer do something stupid, police. That's still it in my change my position, no anyone will beat me. One police officer do some crap, police across the board. The sad part is we have police who are doing the same thing. So one non-police, aka civilian, behave a particular way in their mind, and you know, in some police officers' mind, all civilians is criminals. Well, if you didn't know that, I tell you that. As a former police, I tell you that, which is part of the same stupidness. Once you're not police, you're not law abiding. In some police mind, I'm telling you. So once you are civilian and they have to approach you, they start from the position that you are a suspect. You have criminal intent. So they approach you in a particular manner. And it's all part of the same stupid mindset of blaming a whole group of people for the actions of one or two or few, as the case may be. But I understand what's in the bigger picture. So these two Negro guys, African guys, if you want to use that term, don't matter. Before they approach the guy, you hear what they said? You, Indian, don't like Negro. So they projected firstly something that they felt will give them grounds to launch the attack. Here is this presumably, I said presumably because we don't know what is the facts anymore, we don't know the guy. They don't know him. Because they did some investigation. Was just a random thing. And we know those things happen. But just because he was of a different race that they felt treats them badly. So everybody of that race now has to suffer because of that. That makes no sense. I know some are going go like this. I know are looking for the comments here and after from you guys. So they projected something that would give them a frame of mind to now be comfortable to act. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? People listening kind of serious. So all I'm saying, one, let me go back from the top. I am in no way coming against the whole issue of Black Lives Matter and what it stands for and the context behind it, which I understand, which is founded on the whole thing about racialism and how blacks have been treated by whites, and more specifically, it has to do with the police killings of white cops killing black men. We know that. That is the history of it. I am saying, just like this little banner, and I am in agreement with it, it cannot be Black Lives Matter only when a white police kill a black man. Let's put it the other way. Suppose a black police killed a black man. Will the black life that was lost not also matter? So then, if we say yes, then are we willing to protest the same way? If a black business owner is found to be engaging in the same behavior, unscrupulous behavior, the same kind of criminal intent, not intent rather, but activities, as a white business owner, will we protest that black business the same way? Will we placard that black business the same way? Right here in Trinidad, I wouldn't call names. We had an incident a couple years ago where a young lady was from all the circumstantial evidence, it shows that she was killed inside a particular business establishment. We had a little protest for about 2 weeks, and that is it done. But people got going and shopping like normal inside there, like normal. You want to say it in Trinidad, right? So a Trinidadian was apparently, it is believed, was kidnapped and murdered in this business place. George Floyd trial ain't done yet. It ain't start yet really. This went through all kind of thing. In about 2 weeks, you stop hearing anything about the issue. But people here want to protest by the embassy because of what happened in America. Why we ain't protest that thing some more? Why we not protesting that now? I know some person that boycott that business altogether. They don't even want to pass by it. But for the vast majority of us, because I know the business, there's one that not too far from where I have to traverse every now and then. And you just see the cars by droves going in. No protest. No protest. But a white man kill a black man in America, we protesting here. I know something because you understand the bigger picture. You not understand what I tried to show you. If black lives matter, let it matter across the board. I'll tell you all this. I wasn't too liked in the service because I had one standard of operating for everybody, police or non-police. That's a fraternity kind of mentality, you understand? Now, obviously, obviously I would look out for my fellow police officer, but I'm not going to side with a police officer knowingly to do something that is wrong against a civilian. I will side with the civilian. A lot of police didn't like me for that because they couldn't understand that. Why? Because police first, my community first. You understand? So if a fellow police officer stab me in my back, I keep it quiet and I don't make a scene because that's one of my kind. But if a civilian stab me in my back as a police officer, what's that? You got your police? You stab police? Big thing. Now I use that as an obvious example to show you, but that's typically what we just do. Because the community only matters when it is being interfered with from outside. When people in your own community destroying your community from within, The people who being destroyed apparently not important. They don't matter. They only matter when there's the invasion from outside coming in. I am saying, and I mean, who don't like it, no problem. We could agree to disagree. We don't have to stop being friends for that. We could agree to disagree. I am saying if Black lives had a matter, let Black Lives Matter across the board. When something happens within your community, and we could put out all out. It could be Black lives, it could be Indian lives, it could be Chinese lives, whatever. If the same kind of crime is happening within your community as when somebody from out the community perpetrates on one of your own, I am saying you must attack it with the same kind of force. You must have the same kind of, vengeance is not the word, but you must want to see the same level of justice, even though it's one of yours that did it. Because wrong is wrong. A crime is a crime, regardless of who do it. It is still a crime. Murder is murder. Murder is murder. If your own brother who lives in your house cold-bloodedly murders your mother or your father, you should want to see no less justice than if your neighbor had invaded your house and done the same thing. Where they came from might be different. What they did is exactly the same. So then, is it that you're upset because of where they come from, or you're upset because of what they did? And don't tell me there's a difference between the two. Because murder from outside, murder from within, don't carry two different weights. It's still murder. Right? So let me leave you with that. That's my take on the thing. If Black lives had a matter, Black lives must matter across the board. Regardless of who take the life, the person who takes the life should be subject to the same level of treatment and penalties as anybody else, whether they're from your community or not. That's it for me. We on Red one more time. Live. We here. That is it for this week. Some heat in the place, right? I want to hear the comments. I saw one comment on the live chat. So I'll be looking out for the comments after, because I know a lot of people comment after the thing. So again, let me say thanks to all of you guys who locked on and everybody who's following and stuff. Don't remember just remember to subscribe, to like the channel, share it, etc. We here every Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Live at 5 on a Tuesday. I don't find a name for it. Red Live at 5. That sounds kind of nice. Red Live at 5. So we'll be here every Tuesday live. As a matter of fact, I hustled to do this one because I just came from another funeral. One of my nieces, her brother-in-law died in an accident a few days ago. So just came from doing the live stream at the funeral. So I came here because I'm committed to doing this, because it's all about how we can help each other to move forward, to progress in this time, and all this madness that's facing us. So me just line up my billboard here. So that's it for me. That is it for me. So guys, let me say thanks again for joining in, and looking forward to seeing you guys next time right here, 5 p.m. next week on Red.